I was talking with Brian, and he quoted $1,500 for what appeared to be, at first glance, a simple cleanup. The client said the books were pretty much up to date, and Brian was happy to bring on a new client. But 2 weeks in, Brian was still reconciling 8 months worth of transactions. He was hunting down missing payroll data and working evenings just to be able to keep the project moving forward. I want to let you know, he thought that this was going to take maybe 15 hours to do the project. He's already logged in over 40 hours on the job. Now, maybe you've had a similar experience also where you quickly reviewed something, you thought it would be a pretty easy project, and then once you dug in, you started seeing the unexpected surprises. So I want to let you know that is more common than you think. I'm Lauren Fogelman with Business Success Solution, and I show accounting firm owners how to be able to double their income working half the time. So if you find that those cleanup projects are draining your time, your energy, and adding to your stress, then it's not about the quote. I want to let you know that it's not about the quote. It's what happens before you give the quote that is leading to you ending up with these projects that are larger than what you originally scoped out or expected. So here's what I see so often when I talk to firm owners is a potential client reaches out. They say, we just need a cleanup process. Our books, they're pretty basic. They're simple. They're easy. Everything ought to be right there. And maybe you ask a couple questions. You glance at their reports really quickly, and things look like, yeah, they can use a little bit of cleaning up, but not anything too messy. And then what happens is after you quote and you start to dig into the project, then it takes days before you get login access. Some of the really critical components that you need are totally missing. The reconciliations, uncategorized, they just don't add up. And all of a sudden, you realize this project that you thought was simple, easy, and basic is 3 times more complex than what you expected. That is a cleanup nightmare. So this is what happened to Brian, is that, yes, he quoted $1,500 because he thought it would take just a couple of hours, 14, 15 hours, but it was more that he didn't have a process to be able to fully scope out the project before they said yes, and he agreed to do the work. So once again, think about that last time that you thought you were digging into a project and it was going to be pretty simple, good profit margin, and it went sideways. Well, I want you to consider, what was it that you heard that maybe was something that gave you the thoughts that, oh, this would be easy, not a big deal. Maybe you heard some things like, it's mostly done, it just needs a few fixes. Our last bookkeeper just didn't finish everything. Or you shouldn't need that much, it's pretty much all there. And yes, these sound like harmless statements, but they are red flags in disguise. I want to let you know, anytime someone says it's easy, simple, basic, it's all there, you don't need as much as what you think, then these are red flags that really are an indicator. Don't take their word for it. Dig in and figure it out for yourself. So once again, don't take the client's word for it. And also don't do a quick review during that initial consultation. That's like an unpaid diagnostic. And as a result of that, you end up quoting based on that quick assessment, but there's a lot of guesswork that goes into that fee. So when you do that, you end up taking on a lot more stress because things start to unravel once you get into the project. So we know what happens now that leads you to having projects being more complex than expected. And this is how to be able to approach it differently. Because it's not that you need all your projects to lead to chaos. What you need is a process, and it comes before you give the quote for that project. So this is about your intake process. It starts right there at the very first meeting, or sometimes maybe even before you meet. What you want to do is ask better questions. And I suggest considering these 4 or something along these lines. So the very first one is, when was the last time that your financials were fully reconciled? Basically, if they're unsure, then it's a sign that there might be deeper issues to be aware of. So that's number 1. Number 2 is, where are your financial documents stored, as well as your receipts? Who has access? And the answer to this is going to tell you whether this is going to be a disorganized client. And if that's so, then they delay everything. You will be waiting on responses to your communications, and it's going to just drag things out. Question number 3 is, why are you reaching out now? Did something happen? And this lets you know what the urgency is. And a lot of times, if things are last minute, then there's probably also more complexity than what you think. And number 4, the first step is a paid diagnostic to fully assess the project. Are you ready to get started? And this actually tests their respect for your process. And it also protects your time, saves you from those price-sensitive clients that want you to do it all, but they want to pay as little as possible. So 4 questions to start to bring into your initial meeting. When were the books fully reconciled last? Where are your documents stored? Who has access? Why are you reaching out now? Did something happen? And the first step is a paid diagnostic. Are you ready to get started? So I want to bring it now back to Brian. After that last cleanup that turned out being 3 times more complex than what he expected, he began charging $350 for the diagnostic. And the next time he had someone come to him and he told them about the paid diagnostic and the fee for that, they paid the fee. They delivered all the documents in a very timely manner as agreed. And also they went ahead and accepted a $3,600 quote for the project. It was a fixed price, but he knew what he was getting into ahead of time. With Brian, it was the same expertise. He just had a better process now, and it delivered a higher return. This is something that you can do also. So if you find that your cleanup projects are taking longer than expected, they're ending up being lower profit, and you're doing some of the work where you're not even charging for it, you're not getting compensated, or you're getting grossly underpaid, then it is time to put a system in place to fix that. So if that is something that is of interest to you, you want to transform your cleanup so you earn more, reduce the stress, and increase your profits, then reach out, go to businesssuccesssolution.com/let's talk to be able to book a complimentary path to profit strategy session. So I want to just reaffirm, you solve complicated problems for your clients. I know that you do matters more than most people realize. You probably are doing even more than they're aware of. And that expertise that you bring to the table, your compassion, the way that you make a difference for them, deserves to be properly compensated. It starts by protecting your time and your value before anybody says yes and moves forward. So in this episode, it's about helping you rethink your approach to cleanup projects, sharing. And if that is something that resonated with you, you know somebody else that can benefit from this, share this episode with them so that they are no longer stuck pricing by the hour and they're able to get well compensated for the difference that they make for their clients right from the get-go. Let me know what you thought about this, took away anything that this maybe affirmed for you, or anything where you need additional information. I would love to be able to hear from you. I'm Lauren Fogelman with Business Success Solution, showing firm owners how to be able to double their revenue, working half the time.